All right. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. No? So our discussion for today is all about standard costing and at the same time about variance analysis. No? My focus here siguro is more on the variance analysis kasi alam ko nandito lahat no nagkakamali ang mga estudyante. No? All right. I will share my screen now. No? So this one. So I will use again Jamboard for this para madali natin maintindihan no ang ibig sabihin ng ating standard costing and your variance analysis. Okay, sige. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng standard costing? Okay? What do you mean of standard costing? Alright? Di ba class, pag sinabing standard costing, it is should be cost. Okay? Should be cost. Kaya lang ito ay based on per unit. Okay. Budgeting naman should be cost, pero yan ay based on total. Okay. What else? Should be cost per unit. Standard cost is also what you called your benchmark. Yes. Okay. Usually, class, in the standard costing, you will compute for the standard cost of your direct materials, of your direct labor, and your manufacturing overhead. How do we compute for your direct materials? That's your standard, standard quantity to be multiplied by standard price. How do we compute for direct labor? That's your standard hours to be multiplied by standard rate. How about your factory overhead? What is the formula here? Usually, class, the formula here is you compute for the applied manufacturing overhead. Mamaya, no? We'll discuss more about the factory overhead later because ito ay medyo komplikado, no? So later, I will discuss about one-way, two-way, three-way, and four-way. All right. So next one. Next one is what you call your variance analysis. Okay. So, di ba kanina? Okay. What is the variance analysis, no? So, what do you mean of variance analysis? Ibig sabihin, class, you will just compare your actual versus your standard. Okay? Ibig sabihin, in terms of your materials, your actual quantity to be multiplied by the actual price. Sorry, actual price to ha. Actual quantity to be multiplied by the actual price minus standard quantity times the standard price. This is your direct materials. Okay. If your actual is 3,000 and if your standard is 2,000, ibig sabihin, it is a 1,000 unfavorable. Bakit unfavorable? Mas malaki yung actual mo with the standard. That's why you have 1,000 unfavorable. Meaning to say, if your actual cost is more than your standard cost, it is what? Unfavorable. If your actual cost is less than with your standard cost, it is favorable. And that's the essence of the variance analysis. Don't worry, class. We will discuss one by one for this. No, so we go first with one by one. Okay. Number one is about your uh, total materials variance. Okay. You have here your total materials variance. Okay. How do we compute for the TMV or the materials variance? The formula is like this. Okay. The formula is like this. Your actual quantity to be multiplied by the actual price minus standard quantity to be multiplied by the standard price. If you notice, that's your actual minus your standard. If your actual, I will give you sample, is 2,000. Let's say this is at 2 pesos. Okay? Minus, let's say this is at 2.5 times, let's say 2.50. Okay. Magkano to? Malamang ito ay at 4,000 minus ito ay 2.5 times 250. Okay, let's just multiply. 2.5 times 250, you have 6,250. Okay, if your 4,000 is your actual is less than with your standard price, ibig sabihin, you have a 2,250 favorable. Mas malaki ang standard mo with your actual, that's why you have what you call unfavorable. Okay. And you have 2,250 favorable. Sorry, favorable, not unfavorable. Okay. In terms of your materials variance, there are two kinds, no? You have your materials price variance. Okay. How do we compute for the materials price variance? Class, I will teach you three formulas, no? So bahala kayo kung anong gusto niyo, ha? Okay. Ano yung letter A? Using the formula. You will memorize. Yes, actual quantity times actual price minus actual quantity times standard price. What is actual quantity? 2,000. Magkano yung actual price? 2 piso. Magkano yung actual quantity? 2,000. Magkano yung standard price natin? 2.50. Ibig sabihin, your actual mo is 4,000 minus 2,000 times 250. 2,000 times 250, you have 5,000. Okay? Class. Mas maliit ang actual mo with this standard or actual quality at the standard price. Ibig sabihin, you have 1,000 favorable. Or, again, or to ha, or. You can use this letter, boy. Materials price, ibig sabihin, the difference between your price. So price to, the actual price minus standard price to be multiplied by the actual quantity. Magkano yung actual price natin? 2 piso. Magkano yung standard price natin? 2.50. So 0.50. Magkano yung actual quantity? 2,000. 0.50 of your 2,000 and this is your actual is mas maliit sa standard price mo. You have your 1,000 favorable. Alright, next one. Next one is about materials, quantity, variance. Okay, materials, quantity, variance. Ano yung formula, class? Oh, ito na naman, class, no? You can have this one. The difference between your quantity or using the formula muna. The formula here is actual quantity times standard price minus standard quantity times your standard price. Okay. Magkano, class, yung actual quantity natin? Di ba? Given, 2,000. Magkano yung standard price natin? Standard price natin ay 250. Okay? So, ito ay malamang. Ito yung kanina, di ba? 5,000. Okay. Magkano naman yung standard quantity? Di ba ito yan? 25 times 250. Okay? 25 times 250. And this one is you have 6,250. Okay. So 5,000, 6,250. You have malamang 1,250 which is favorable. Okay. Or, letter boy, the difference between your quantity, actual quantity, minus standard quantity to be multiplied by, ano yung parehas, last? Standard price. Magkano, class, yung actual quantity natin? 2,000. Magkano yung standard quantity natin? 2,500. Magkano yung standard price? 250. So 500 times 250, tama ba? So 500 times 250. We will check pa din. We will compute. Di ba? 1,250 which is at favorable. Okay. Di ba? Tama, class? Okay. We'll put dito. Put tayo, ha? Okay. And that's your materials variance. Okay. Sige, mama. Ito muna yung aking picture. Okay. Alam niyo ba, class, may pangatlo yan? Ano yung pangatlo? Plus. Sorry, AB. Para to be consistent, it should be letter C. Okay? Ano yung letter C? Diba? AB, AB. Yung C ito. Okay? Plus, lagay nyo dito, actual quantity times actual price. Sa left side. Lagay nyo dito, standard quantity times standard price. Class disclaimer pala. You can use this one if the unit purchase is the same as unit used or unit sold. Pag parehas yan, class, you can use this formula. Okay? Actual quantity, class, lagay mo dito actual and standard. Class, ano yung extreme left? Actual quantity, di ba? So, put here actual quantity. Ano naman, class, yung ating extreme left? Or right, sorry. Standard price, minus, multiply. Yan na. Again, extreme left, lagay mo dito. Extreme right, lagay mo dito. Dito ha, okay. Class, ano ito? Actual quantity minus actual quantity times standard price. Anong tawag dyan? Ano ba ito yun? Yes, materials, price, variance. I will not copy. Same lang naman yan. Malamang ito ay at 1,000 favorable. Class, anong tawag dito? Actual quantity times standard price minus standard quantity times standard price. Anong tawag dyan? Di ba ito yun? Yes. Materials, quantity, variance. Ibig sabihin, ito ay at 1,250 unfavorable. If you add materials price variance, ito para class, to check. Kung tama tayo, that the materials price variance of 1,000 favorable plus 1,250 favorable, anong tawag doon? Materials or total materials variance. If you add that, you have 2,250 favorable. Parehas ba, class, dito? Yes. If you add 1,000 and 1,000 or 1,000 or 1,000 plus 1,250 and 1,250, tama ba that the answer is 2,250? The answer is yes. Pag parehas yan, class, ibig sabihin, tama ang ating materials price variance and ang ating materials quantity variance. Sir, paano pag hindi parehas? Di mali tayo. And that's your materials variance. Okay. Next one. So, next one naman is about your labor. Okay, I will put here naman yung aking camera. Next one is about your total labor variance. Okay. Ano yung formula? Same na kanina. Actual hours to be multiplied by actual rate minus standard hours to be multiplied by standard rate. Okay. Actual standards. Halimbawa, class, okay, we'll put actual hours of 5,000. Let's say actual rate natin ay 3. So, 15,000 yan. Minus standard hours, for example, ay 4,000. Times standard rate, for example, ay 3.5. Yan. So, ito ay at 15,000 sigurado. Minus 4,000 times 3.5. 4,000 times 3.5. Ito ay at 14,000. Tama ba? 4,000 times 3.5. Yes, 40. Class, mas malaki na yung actual mo with your standard. Ibig sabihin, you have a 1,000 unfavorable na. Okay, you have your 1,000 unfavorable for the total labor variance. In the total labor variance, there are two kinds. You have your labor rate variance. Okay. How do we compute for the labor rate variance? Formula na naman tayo. Actual, ito class, letter A ulit ha. Actual hours times actual rate minus actual hours times standard rate. Given na ito class ha. Your actual hours, for example, ay 5,000 times 3 pesos minus actual hours of 5,000 ulit times standard rate of 3.5. Malamang ito ay at 15,000 minus 5,000 times 3.5. You have 17,500. Mas malaki ang actual hours mo at standard rate mo. So, ibig sabihin, you have your 2,500 favorable. This time is favorable in terms of the labor rate variance. Okay. Class A, or na naman to, or your labor rate, the difference between your rate, actual rate minus standard rate to be multiplied by actual hours. Magkano yung rate natin? 3 pesos. Magkano yung standard rate natin? 3.50. So, 0.50 to be multiplied by the actual hours. So, malamang yan ay at 2,500 favorable. Ortho class, ha? Okay? You can use this formula or you can use this, the difference between your rate, kaya actual rate times standard rate to be multiplied by actual hours. Okay. Number 2 class. Number 2 ay pwede naman labor, labor yan ha. Oh, wait lang. Erase natin. Ay. Ayaw ma-erase. You have your labor quantity or labor quantity sa ibang libro ay labor efficiency. Same lang yung class, variance. Labor quantity or labor efficiency variance. Okay. How do we do that? You can do again formula base or formula. You have your actual hours times standard rate. All right, minus standard hours times standard rate. Okay. Magkano yung actual hours natin? 5,000. Standard rate natin ay 3.5. Minus, you have 4,000. Tingnan, di ba? Times 3.5. 5,000 times 350, you have 17,500 minus 4,000 times 350, you have 14,000. 17,500 minus 14,000, you have here 3,500. This time is unfavorable. Okay. Or, letter boy, the difference between your quantity and based on your efficiency, so actual hours minus standard hours to be multiplied by standard rate. Magkano class yung actual hours natin? 5,000. Magkano yung standard hours natin? 4,000. Magkano class yung standard rate natin? 3.50. 1,000 times 350. Mas malaki yung actual mo, the standard mo. So for sure, you have 3,500 unfavorable. Parehas ba? Yes. Okay. Same pa din kanina, no? So, same kanina. Okay? Particularly with this, no? So, particularly with this. Okay. If this one, class, again, if the unit produced or unit sold is the same as unit purchased. Okay. Actual hours times actual rate. Okay. Lagyan mo dito, standard hours times standard rate. Magkano class yung actual hours natin? 5,000, di ba? Standard actual rate natin ay 3 pesos. Ay, mamaya pala. Sorry. Ako ay excited na. Pwede naman. Lagay ko na lang. Sige. And we have 4,000 here para to be consistent times 350. Okay. Class, ano yung extreme left? Actual hours. Ano yung extreme right? Standard rate. Multiply, minus. Actual hours mo magkano? 5,000. Magkano yung standard rate mo? 350. Class, ano to? Actual hours minus actual hours times standard rate. Diba ito yun? Labor rate variance. Actual hours times standard rate minus standard hours times standard rate. Anong tawag dyan, class? Diba ito yan? Labor quantity or efficiency variance. This is your labor efficiency variance. So malamang ito ay at 2,500 favorable and this one is where 3,500 unfavorable. If you add this, tama ba? That's your total labor variance. Magkano yan, class? Of course, 1,000. Mas malaki yung unfavorable mo, 1,000 unfavorable. Parehas ba siya dito, class? Yes. If you add 2,5 or 2 and 3,5 and 3,5, parehas ba siya na 1,000 unfavorable? The answer is yes. And that's what you call your labor variance or labor two kinds, labor rate variance and labor quantity variance. Okay ba, class? Naintindihan? Sige. So maybe I will separate my video about the variance analysis naman of your overhead, no? Which is one-way, two-way, three-way, and four-way. So maybe mas maganda i-separate ko siya para mas madali yung maintindihan. But my focus here is more on your direct materials and direct labor. So again, thank you and see you all. Bye-bye.